Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. That's become a classic. Welcome to the unexpected live video. Today, we're going to talk about the drama queen. I'm addressing some of the my latest work was a client of mine, and we had decided to for me to follow up with a video. Sometimes you need to hear certain materials over and over again. Sometimes you need to listen to something more than once, and you need to make your knowledge really strong by repeating and learning. So, welcome everybody. Let me see who is here. Welcome, everyone. It's unexpected lunchtime live video as I won't be available later tonight. What do you think about my snow studio? Don't worry, I'm not that cold. So let's talk today about the drama queen situation. Hey, Aaron. Привет, Силечка. Hello, everybody. Welcome. So let's talk today about the drama queen. Uh, what is that drama queen? Does it really is it something that we can relate internationally? Does it have really national some features that we need to figure out? I would say that generally it's it's pretty much universal, but let's first define what is drama queen for Russian and Ukrainian ladies, and how to deal with it, what it means, how to spot it, and will she ever change. Drama queen to me is a person that instead of being logical, instead of trying to find a solution, trying to make a big deal of things that uh, generally should not be a big deal. These are the people that ladies that give too much power to emotions over any kinds of logic, and they take everything you do as a threat. So a lot of times, you made a mistake, you maybe brought the wrong sorry guys, my nose is itching, so буду пить. In Russian and Ukrainian culture, if your nose is itching, it means you're gonna be drinking. So I hope it stop. So in Russian and Ukrainian culture, a lot of times uh, the one way to get attention from a man is to be dramatic. A lot of times you would be ignored unless you show some particular emotion, some particular behavior that is somewhat dramatic. You will get some attention. That was my problem as well when I come to United States. Talking about drama queens, I have to honestly say that I wore the title for a bit. That was a situation where I didn't know that I can just execute an idea, or I can just address an issue, and that would be considered. Instead, I felt that it's almost a survival thing. Women's emotions, it's in many ways a survival mechanism. So if I start crying, you will pay attention at me. You won't leave me hungry. You won't leave me frozen in the forest, right? Uh, that is one of the things, is a survival thing. So we can't really blame women for being emotional, but we're supposed to mature, and we're supposed to learn, we're supposed to evolve. So I have to say that by growing up in an environment where often men would ignore your request, and once again, in order for them to change their behavior, you need to show a tear, or you need to escalate the conflict and cry, or you have a fight. So when you grew up in this, whether you want it or not, you don't know another communication. And this is so I cannot believe that, maybe 8 years ago, I would make a big deal or cry or be upset about something. And it's genuine. It was not a trying to um, it was not a manipulation technique, but it was just not knowing how to deal with certain things. So I can tell you that you're gonna have conflicts with your Ukrainian or Russian lady, and I suggest to not avoid them, to not stuff them, to not bottle it down, let it out, and uh, you can have a conversation after she comes down. You can say, you really, if you want me to call you at 3 p.m. and not at 7 p.m., you can just tell me and I will do that. It's not an issue for me. I would be more than happy to be on time, for example, whatever it is. Or if you want me to change something, you can just tell me. You don't need to cry. I don't like seeing your tears. uh, when you grew up in the survival mode, when you had to fight for yourself, you take everything as a threat. And a lot of times you can have a Russian or Ukrainian drama queen, just because she feels, oh, you did not pick up the phone. Oh my gosh, you must be with another woman, because this lady, maybe her husband left her and he cheated, or um he had an affair and he was not picking up the phone at 7 p.m. So she presumed that you're the same, and she can't control her emotions. And she doesn't know that first you can just ask, is it your shift that you are busy at your work at this point and you cannot pick up the phone? She cannot communicate. She's not used to it. Her survival mode is to attack. And once again, I have a right to talk about this, because I um I will share more, of course, with my circle that we are successfully building. By the way, thank you everyone for joining Patreon. We're getting more and more members. We literally have one member left till I'm gonna start our first live shows over there that are private. So that's gonna be fun. So guys, that's what it is. You the cultural differences makes drama queen the certain cultures adds a little bit to the picture. Let's just put it like that. And as I just mentioned, as a what I consider for maybe 95% recovered drama queen myself, which is very hard to admit, because I would be very embarrassed if somebody see me throwing something or going off on somebody or doing something like that. It takes a lot of inner work to own your emotions, to hold your emotions, to not direct your emotions at a person that have no idea why you're upset about. It really takes a person to admit their own problems. If I would not have changed in these years, I would have been an awful mother, because threatening your child with your drama, it just would be an absolute nightmare. And I think that every person been through something, and every person should learn effective communication, which does not mean avoiding the conflict, but how you deal with it. So these are the things you need to watch out when you have a conflict, when you have a disagreement. Is she the one that is abusing you in the words? Is she calling you names? Is she comparing you to somebody? Is she trying to tell you that you are not worthy of her attention? Is she basically threatening you and hurting you? And she's not shy to call you names and words. And for me, I think that if somebody lets themselves, there are points of no return. If you are a grown person, and the thing is, I'm talking about the girl right now in her 20s that didn't know what to do. Okay, so the majority of my audience are way, way, way older than that. So hopefully by this time, everybody understands what is an adequate behavior. So there are points of no return, period. If you call somebody out of their name, if she calls you out of your name, or there are f-bombs and other things, there are certain threats about knowing your personal conflicts, or knowing your personal, if she knows your personal insecurities, and she's threatening you in that way. Some of these things are points of no return, and you have to have self-respect to discern it. What are things just emotional, she's just scared, she's fearful. And I want to tell you, if you bring a lady from Russia or Ukraine or Belarus here in the United States, she's going to have moments when she's going to be fearful. She is going to have moments when she is going to be how to say this, when she's gonna feel insecure. She's going to have moments when she is going to feel lonely. She's going to have all of these moments. So there is a difference between that and when she does not respect you, when she step all over certain human universal boundaries, and when it's a repeated behavior. So you talk with her once, you talk with her twice, but you told her that this behavior you cannot tolerate, it hurts you, and you cannot deal with it. If she listens to this but yet nothing changes, I can tell you, oh, what did I just do? uh if you doing all of that, but yet nothing is changes, nothing changes, it's not a good sign. Okay, it's not a good sign. Okay, I'm playing, sorry guys, I'm a girl, I'm playing with the filters, I've never used them before during the live video, it's kind of fun. So anyway, you have to be very discerning, because people do not change because you think that they should change. Not a single person is going to change because you requiring them to change, or you think that they should. It's an illusion. A lot of people ignore very serious conflicts because they think that, oh, it's just a misunderstanding, it's just an international relationship issue. And it often could be. Also, if you marry a younger woman, as I was in my time when I came here, uh she has more flexibility to change. She has more neuroplasticity to adjust and learn the new mentality. If you bring a lady who's in her late 40s, she's 45 or 50 years old, and she has certain adopted, or not adopted, but her behaviors, uh there is a lesser chance that she will change. Of course, I'm generalizing. There are probably people who are still very flexible a little bit, later on in life, but the chances are smaller. Ask yourself a question: how flexible are you? How flexible are you to change your behaviors? How flexible are you to change your attitude? I can tell you that uh, it's really an internal work. It's really an internal work when somebody tells you something offensive, to not go on their level, to not start. We have this expression in Russian and Ukrainian. It's called mixing them with mud, or painting them in the black paint. It's very difficult. You have to have some inner strength. You have to have some class. You have to have self-respect to not go on the same level as this person trying to harass you, trying to uh, to basically usually blame you for things without owning their responsibility, trying to, you see, every conflict should have a strategy. Every conflict, you should know what you want out of this conflict. If you want your husband, for example, to pick up a phone at 7 p.m. at night, and you have some issues and you're worrying that he might be somewhere else, you need to, before you accuse him of something, before you hurt his feelings and mix him with the mud, you have to figure out what do you want. If you start to show jealousy, if you start to show disrespect, if you start to show that you do not trust him, you don't value him, uh, and accusing him of something he probably didn't even have in his mind of doing, uh do do you think, if any women are watching me, do you think that he will be eager to change that? If you have a conflict, you need to understand what end result you want to get from that conflict. Once again, if there is a conflict, there it's inevitable that at some point it's going to be what end result you want to get. If you want to get person to respect you, you cannot attack them and harass them and blame them for something. You're not gonna get respect out of disrespect. So that's just, kind of giving you a general idea, guys. I used to struggle with it a lot, and now I have changed to a certain point where sometimes I had the situation when people would come to me in the real world and be extremely aggressive and throwing things at me. But I've learned that if two people are out of their mind at the same time, there's gonna be no resolution. So I don't know if that is possible for everybody. So I cannot tell you that your Ukrainian lady will 100% change or not. It really depends on her personality. It really depends on her heart. It really depends on many things. For me, it's a life-saving situation, because no matter who you are, if you lose your cool, if you put yourself as a fool, if you start crashing things, if you start calling people out of their names and throwing f-bombs at them, you have a very low chance of any kind of social acceptance, especially here in the West. In Ukraine, it's a little different. People can have an incredible fight, and then in 5 minutes, everything is fine. Personally, I think it's really important to own your uh, side of the character. My father was very fiery. He was like like fire, and that's used to be me. But I believe that if you have knowledge and you want to change, you can change even despite of your temperament, because, or temper, I guess, in English it is, because my temper is very well, anyway, you can learn how to do that. You can learn, you can train yourself. So basically right now I'm just observing when somebody trying to harass me or do something, either it's online or it's, in a real world of people that I'm communicating. I let them get their thing out, but I'm not discussing anything in that situation. If you're not happy with something, you better be able to communicate that. And I think, all of us can learn some some update our standards. I think it's awful if when you also see a man who is, strong, who have achievements, just men that you respected, and next moment he go crazy because somebody brought him coffee that wasn't hot enough. It just tells you a lot about the person. So to answer the question, if Russian and Ukrainian drama queen, would change or adopt new behavior, it's a very difficult question, and that is why you need to spend actual physical time with your lady. You need to travel. You need to be able to spend some time in Ukraine together. Living together. You need to be able to exchange certain communications when these conflicts will arise, and tell her that no, she doesn't need to cry and scream. You, if you have an opportunity, you will buy that pair of shoes for her. She doesn't need to just go bananas over it. A lot of times when it comes to scamming, there is a lot of drama queen behavior in the scamming. And by the way, for those of you who are new to my channel, or who are new to my private platform of Patreon, um I will be posting, no matter what tier you are, I will post my anti-scamming videos there. So last year I made two series of anti-scamming videos. When you will see the fake drama queen and the emotional manipulation that certain women would do to get the money out of you or get you to do what they want, and plus you're getting scammed at the same time. So that's some perks for my new members. Thank you guys so very much for joining my platform. By the way, I posted huge long videos that I made, I think, on Sunday night. It was so much information in that. Uh, so it's a 2 hour video, and we talked about everything under the sun. So if you want to watch it again, it's not available on it's not public anymore, but it's listed at on Patreon. You can watch it again. I might post a piece of it here, or a part of it, sorry, on here on YouTube. But I also want to tell you guys, when you share with people your heart, there are gonna be people who will abuse it, who will try to hurt you. And when you are a public person of any kind, you're gonna get harassed. You're gonna get hurt at times. You not only getting admiration, but you also get people's frustration, and they think that that's the best way is to uh, take it on you, which is also very, very wrong. So, uh, I will share some more of the personal dramas things that I've did myself, and I'm looking at this right now like, um, well, I don't know this lady. She has nothing to do with me. We have nothing in common, so it's just your imagination. But in fact, it's true. So I'm gonna share with those of you on Patreon what things I've done, and it's kind of like a mild drama queen situation where these examples will just show fear, they will show just insecurity, they will show uncertainty, and that is explain not justifies but explains the drama queen behavior. But um to give you guys a hint what it is, what Ukrainian lady might change or will change, it would be basically a girl that loves to learn, that's trying to better herself, that cares how you feel. You don't have to have a whole bunch of million pages of self help books, but if she really cares about you, if she cares how you feel, if she hates to see tears in your eyes, if she, that's one thing that I feel comfortable sharing, that I hate seeing tears in somebody's eyes. If I know that maybe personally I have something to do with that, this is just absolutely breaks my heart. Especially, of course, if it's somebody you love, somebody you care about, you just feel it's just really excruciating pain to me. So if she has this empathetic, if she is an empath, if she's just uh dramatic out of unknown, she's taking a big risk in her life, she's scared, if she is empathetic, if she has a big heart, if she showed on many occasions that she cares about you, if she just never learned that there are other way of effective communication rather than going into drama queen mode and losing herself, if she grew up in a family that was like that, but she really is learning and you can see the progress, and she tells you, I want to learn better, I'm sorry, You also need to have a conversation and share with her that, please don't lash out at me in a public place. If you have a problem with me, let's go home and talk. By the way, it doesn't have to be toxic. We can both go outside, take a breath of fresh air, and then form what is that, what is the problem. It's so important, because some people believe that you can restore any situation. But if something is a pattern, if something is continuous, if the person already reached certain maturity in their development and age marks, you know, the chances are low that the person will change. Okay, what did I just say? Did I? Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I got a little bit distracted. uh the more flexible you are, the younger you are, the more open you are to see things about yourself. Oh, I was talking about point of no return. So yes, the more younger, flexible you are, you can see things, but there is also a point of no return. Don't think that every word can be taken back. Don't think that sorry is making up for things. And be brave to see uh, what can you do better. I want to just say this one example with a restaurant. Just a minute, guys. All right. Hi, everyone. Hey, tell me something. Are you guys here? I want to share with you example about the restaurants. Uh, for us post-USSR people, we are very timid and shy when we go out. If we get a meal and the meal is either overdone or not done right, if we're gonna be sitting there eating that meal, or if we get in a manicure somewhere, I talk to my girlfriends who get manicure, and they would say, oh my gosh, we've been getting this manicure and it's awful. It was awful, but I still, paid for it. I ordered that meal. It was overly salty, or it was too cold. Like, it drives me nuts when I'm at the restaurant, and that meal is like barely warm. It just really triggers me as well. So, in Russian and Ukrainian mentality, usually what happens, as how we grew up, it would be either no conflict, or the conflict would go with all the curse words, and boy, you better watch out, you better run. So we do not want to be that bad person that freaks out about the cold meal, or the bad manicure, or the bad hairdo, and rips everything and just being obnoxious. We think in our mentality that it's either that, or you suppress yourself. The idea that you can actually express, you can detach from your emotions, you can take a breath, you can inhale and exhale, and then you say, excuse me, would you please warm up my dish, because I really like it hot. It was a movie. Some like it hot, right? Or this manicure is, ugh, I think I would like to redo it. May I talk to the manager? It's not looking good. In fact, we all face these situations when we feel, if we would tell the person a feedback, if we're gonna be drama queen or drama king, when in fact it's not necessarily true. If you detach your emotions, if you just say, okay, it's not the end of the world, it's not like the terrorists are standing next to you, or the building is on fire, you don't have to freak out. You can just say the truth. You can just say, I would really appreciate if that would be a little bit warmer, or can I reduce this hair, I don't like this color, or some, for men the same thing. When I see a man freak out about something, it's really really hard to keep your respect for a guy who can't keep his cool, and at the same time you gain respect for somebody who keeps his cool, who separate emotion and common sense, and have a respect for the person who made a mistake, able to point things out, and just get a result. And I want to tell you this, when you are at the restaurant or you are at any service place, how it's 9 out of 10 people are happy to fix their mistakes. They say, "Oh my gosh, of course. Oh, I'm so sorry." 9 out of 10 people in a service places, in a social situations, they would be more than happy to fix their mistake, especially if you not harass them, if you're not trying to humiliate them or devalue them. They will be more than happy to make it up. You know, every single person sometimes, make a mistake or have a moment. We are not perfect, and even though I consider myself a recovered drama queen, but I still have some moments. The other day my car would not start because it was so cold. It was like minus 20 Celsius or like a 0 degrees in Fahrenheit, and my car didn't start. And I had some children in my car listening music, so I think that contributed, because the car wasn't on. And I did snap. I said, why would you do that? It will drain the battery, and it did. And so I had this minute when I snapped, and it was so negative, and I felt awful about that. In just 2 minutes later, I was like, they're just kids. They just listening to the music. What a crime. What a crucial mistake. So I really made sure that I apologized, looking in their eyes and saying, "Hey guys, that's all right. Please don't do this next time. You didn't deserve to be snapped on. I'm just in a hurry, and I need to um we need to get the car started now." So, which happened flawlessly or easily. It got started, just need a little spark. But you have to be honest with you. None of us ever will be absolutely perfect at any situation, but you have to own it, and you have to try to reduce it as much as you can, because once again, there is nothing worse than seeing tears in the eyes of the person that you love. Tell me that there is something more awful than seeing tears in the eyes of the person that you care about, and you contributed. You don't know what kind of wounds you will um what kind of wounds you will create, and also what kind of old wounds you will inspire to come back on. So that is my message, guys, today, as I'm here standing in a forest. Let's see if I can do another. I'm having so much fun with these effects. I love the black and white. I love the black and white. So yes, I'm a girl, I have to play with colors. How is everybody doing? I'm about to go. I will share with you guys the particular situations that I've learned from. I'm really, uh, honestly, there is a great thing about growing up. There is a great thing about maturing. Um, some people unfortunately age, but they do not evolve. They do not grow up. I believe that maturing and growing up, it's such an incredible thing. That's what I like about maturing. I think it's an incredible thing. It's like you refine yourself into something maybe you were always meant to be. Because honestly, if somebody who knew me in person would share those things that I said and done like 10 years ago, I just would be like, but tell me, is there somebody in this room that do not have something they're embarrassed about? Don't you have something that you said, done, showed? As long as you own that, as long as you learn from that, uh, as long as you over that and you became a better person, it's fine. Now, once again, about defining whether a person will change, you have to spend certain time with that lady, for example. If you spend a certain amount of time, let's say 6 months, and those patterns, you have conversations and you have talks about it, and you try to do things, but nothing is changing. If those patterns are same thing, and she is deeply rooted in her beliefs, uh and the way she handles things, you should think about that. And another thing, marrying somebody and hoping that they will change is a utopia. I don't know, utopy or utopy in English. It's a bad idea, other words. Marrying somebody and hoping that they will change is a utopical or utopical, I don't know how it's correct to say, idea. So that's it. I will follow up with some embarrassing story of my journey here in US. So for my Patreon members, that's gonna be I'm gonna do it, okay? I think it's important because you might find that your girl doing the same thing, and so you will know that there is hope. Another thing, we only have one person left to add to the Patreon group, and so the point of that is this: we can have a live video like this, and it's private, so there are only few people can see it in the group. But also, instead of just commenting, I believe on Patreon you can hop in with audio or video and share, ask a question, share your insight. Um, and we can have a discussion. So that would be really awesome. So I'm looking forward to it, and I want to tell huge big thank you. Uh, I want to say huge big thank you to those of you who for your trust and support. It means the world to me. So thank you so much. And of course, I want that to be mutually beneficial. That's the goal for me. That what gets me up in the morning. So, okay, guys, let me say hi to everybody. Hey, Elle, Mike, hello, Frank. Um, Frank is saying, it's my experience that otherwise intelligent and rational Ukrainian women are distrustful and freak out by simple kindness. Well, some ladies who did not have a good family, who maybe had an abusive, maybe an abusive husband or boyfriend or something like that, uh, it's it's very possible that it's a foreign thing to them to to be able to okay, this is too dark. I'm playing, guys. So they're not used to something. So if you are uh with the ladies that freaked out by simple kindness, uh it just means that you might be that light in her life that she needs, because this is just the reality. Very few, or there are many Ukrainian ladies that did not, or and Russian, Slavic, that did not had a good family. But if you think about it, guys, there's plenty of that here as well. I love people who you make something for 5 cents, they give you 20. That's called generosity, and I think it's beautiful. So you have a chance to be a magician in her life, if she is so appreciative by your kindness and that she can trust you. The trust is the highest currency. It really is. So okay, I'm playing, guys. I'm gonna put black and white. I think black and white is really cool. I have to have fun, right? I can't just work nonstop. Ukrainian ladies can be as trusting as they are skeptical. Just because, yes, they are skeptical. It's true, and they have trust issues. I have video about that. Привет, Бронсон. Я тебе отправила сообщение. Проверь. Jerry Butler saying, men marry women hoping they never change. Women marry men wanting them to change. Very true, very true, very true. We are very guilty of hoping, you know what, I'm gonna fix him up a little bit. He's a project. I'm gonna marry this guy and I'm gonna, cut here, add here. But that's a big illusion that you can change somebody. How's that been working out? Not very successful for the majority of people, right? All right. Let's see. Albert being silly. But thanks. Yeah, this bar sighting, I cannot do anything about it, guys. Let's imagine it's a microphone. You're welcome, Philip. I don't know if drama queen is a cute aspect. Maybe it's cute when you're 16. Maybe it's cute when you're 19. But when you're a drama queen at 30 or 40 or 50, that's a way to have no friends and no love life and no good connections. So I don't know. Yes, you can't get respect when you disrespect somebody. Yes, that's one of the thoughts of today. If you attacking somebody, don't hope that they will respect you back. So that's just the reality. So okay, Philip is saying we recently went through an issue, and all that was necessary for me to fully understand her her trust issues and communicate with her about them. I do have a let's see. I do have a video about Ukrainian ladies and Russian ladies, it's the same thing, trust issues. I have it somewhere. It's a big one. Yes, they have a reason to have trust issues. So, yes. But guys, when you have somebody who is always unhappy, you have somebody who has this pattern of hurting you. If you said once that this is hurting you and they keep doing that, I don't care what nationality they are, run, run. Don't let anybody to put you down. I'm teaching this my son. I try to be a good example not only as a mother but as a woman too, and I always treat him well. I have my moments, okay? I just shared about this, but I treat him with respect. I ask his opinion. I consider his opinion. I let him know that he is important, and I make sure that he feel good about himself. And I know for a fact that he will not, when he will grow up and become a big grown man, he will not tolerate a disrespectful behavior from a woman. And it's not because I told him, do not tolerate a bad, disrespectful behavior from a woman. It's because that I am learning how to respect this little human, because this little human, I mean, ever since he was 3 or 4 or 5, they get their personality. They need their respect because they build their vision of themselves through that respect that you give them. Unfortunately, in Russian and Ukrainian culture, the last thing you will get from parents, very often, not everybody, but very often, your parents would not get respect or some personal boundaries to the table. So that is very sad. And unfortunately, many Ukrainian Russian ladies could, just people in general could relate to that people would not that parents, sorry guys, that parents would not respect children. They feel, they might even love the children, but they would not respect. You can't always take a suggestion from a child, but you should always let them know that their opinion count. They are important, and they are respected. Yes, we sometimes feel that power over them, but that's a wrong way to go. So this is just, my parents' side kicks in. So, привет, сердцеед вдохновитель. Ош, thank you so much. Спасибо большое. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Знаю тебя. Спасибо. I really appreciate that I have somebody from the native country listening. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Philip is saying your video helped me. Thank you. We both have been hurt before, but have been open about it and our intentions. Yes. You know, we all have this wounds from the past, and when somebody hurts you again, it really triggers those wounds, and they can hurt you twice as much because you have what they call double impact, and the other person have no idea about the whole, you know, double impact thing. So, oh guys, I stepped on something. So I'm standing. I prefer to stand. I notice I prefer to stand. I feel like it's a virtual audience. So, guys, with that being said, I'm sending you some love from Michigan. Respect yourself, value the other person. Don't treat somebody how you don't want to be treated yourself. If somebody goes on a crazy level, let them get their poison out, go to another room, get out of the house, let them, uh, you know, I want to say the word vomit, but I don't know what else. Their poison, stay away, and they see, then maybe when they're ready to talk. There is no point of talking when somebody is in a rage. And be very careful. There are some things that you cannot trace back. There are many things that you cannot change once you said something. We have this expression in Russian language is that your as soon as your word comes out of your mouth, you cannot catch it. You know, like a bird. So remember that not everything is repairable, and even though we talk about the Russian or Ukrainian drama queen, but the truth is it applies to men. I will make a separate video about men drama queen, which is to me honestly you know, quite devastating. I don't do men with drama personally. I could not do that. I tried, but it's not working out for me. So that's something that you can train yourself. You can train your emotions. You have to be honest with you to figure out, you know, what is that that's stopping you from being effective in your communication. So from Michigan with love, guys, thank you so much. I will see you very soon. I sure will stay positive. Thank you, Moncher Mike. He's saying much love from New York City. Nice content and topic. Well, as usually, guys, from Michigan, from snowy Michigan with love, right? I will see you soon. And feel free to share your situations, you know, something you struggle with. If you want me to help you in person, you can send me an email to consultveronica@gmail.com. You can comment under the video if you need my personal help. But you can also watch tons of free videos I have that address that. So you have many options. You can also join Patreon account and be a supporter, and you will get access to at least, you know, send a message or ask a question and possibly get a video back, or be a member of our discussions. I cannot wait till we can have a private and interactive live chat. So thank you so much, and I will see you very soon. Thank you, guys.